Hello gold traders, and how are you guys doing? Now if you've been trading gold, then I'm sure you're already aware of the massive drop that gold gave us on Friday. In fact, Thursday and Friday, but majorly on Friday. Now I've been saying this for the longest possible time, and since last year. Now looking at the way the charts closed last year, I said all these things if you go watch our previous videos, right? And I told you guys, looking at the way gold was going to close in last year was going to be a determining factor as to what's going to happen this year. And I said, okay, what we're going to expect, seeing that gold closed very bullish in December and November, we're going to most likely going to see the continued bullishness, right? Now make sure you watch this video to the end, as I'm going to explain all of this, because I'm going to be sharing with you guys what you should expect next on gold and what levels you could be looking out for. But before I do that, I just want to give you guys a general overview of everything. Now looking at the year, I said in 2026 we're going to see gold push up, right? And gold is most likely going to push up into 5,000 and probably get into 6,000, and then somewhere into the middle of 2026, the year 2026, we're going to see a massive drop, right? Now, but the only problem was I didn't expect it to be this fast. And the reason the drop happened so fast recently, this we saw this drop and everything, was because of the way gold had already taken off, right? Gold did in just 1 month, in the month of January 2026, gold did in 1 month what it took it 9 months to do in 2025. All right, what it took it 9 months to do in 2025. So if you go down to the monthly, you see what I'm saying, right? So this is 2025, beginning of 2025, right? And gold did in 1 month in January what it took 9 months to do in 2025. 9 months: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, October. Okay, so did 9 months, about 9 months, right? So that's a massive push up. So anyone who wasn't expecting that drop, let's go back down to the weekly. Anyone who wasn't expecting that drop was probably confused. I mean, it wasn't a shocker to me, all right? So, and that's the reason I like to make sure I get in at a very key level. I'm still holding some of my buys below, and now the question would be, has gold started that massive drop and massive consolidation that usually happens after a massive run up, right? Because if you know what I'm talking about, let's go back to the monthly. If you know what I'm talking about, I'm referring to what happened in 1980, right? That massive crash that happened and consolidation that happened in 1980 that took place for almost 20 years, and the crash that also happened in 20, what was that, 2011? Yeah, this is it. 2011, that took place 2011 for almost 5 years down to 2016, 2017, right? Has that massive drop and massive consolidation that takes place for months and probably even years, has it started? I'm not certain it has started yet. I think what's happening here on gold is a scare out, right? What's a scare out? Gold is trying to scare people off and trying to get people who were, taking buys and just kept buying the dips, buying the dips, and buying the dips, not knowing what they were doing. It's trying to take them out, all right, and then probably continuing its bullishness. Now, that's not to say that that massive drop or massive consolidation that takes place for almost a year or 2, 3, 4, 5 years, because once that starts, we might see gold moving sideways over around a massive range, almost like a 1,000 massive range, right? We're going to see gold moving just sideways for a whole almost so long, right? For, like I said, it could be a year, it could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4, it could be 5 years, it could even be more, just like what happened in 1980 to about 2000, and 2011 to about 2016. All right, but I'm not sure that has started yet. So what are we going to now be expecting? All right, so let's do the top down analysis so I can share with you guys my thoughts on what you could be looking out for right now on gold. So we'll start from the monthly. Now, looking at the monthly, all right, gold gave us this massive rejection. Now, this massive rejection can be an indication that, oh, gold is looking like it wants to start that consolidation and that massive drop I talked about. And if that happens and it wants to start now, then we could see gold dropping as low as, not just even, it could get down to 4,000. It could even get down to 3,200, 3,300, thereabout. All right, we could see a massive drop like that. But before that happens, gold will most likely push back up to 5,500, thereabout, and then we need to watch and see what happens around that zone. If gold starts to drop and give us that massive rejection again, then we'll probably will see gold get down to 4,000, and who knows, probably even lower, right? But like I said, I'm not sure that has started yet, and so that might not be that might not be what would happen, right? So we're going to stick to looking for buys, right? Stick to looking for buying opportunities. So looking at the gold charts, since the month of January has closed bullish, it's possible that we might see a slight drop down, okay, down to around 4,600 or even 4,500, right? So once price gets down into this point, you can see this other week here, the month of December, it might get down to 4,500, and from there we probably might start seeing rejections from that zone. And I'm sure if we go to a lower time frame, you see key support areas around that level. Now that doesn't mean it cannot go lower down to even 4,300. That's also very possible. We can see price go down to 4,300. So but the two key levels you should be looking out for now is 4,500 and 4,300. We might see price get down into those zones, and from there we could start stacking in and looking for how to get in for buying opportunities. Now looking at the weekly, now this is the weekly. Now it now makes sense because you can see this red candle right here. It's a key support level, so that is around 4,533. So like I said, price could get down to 4,500, and from there we start seeing opportunities. So this is key support level, right? Okay, and if that level doesn't hold, then it might get down to 4,300 like we said, 4,300, and that is somewhere around here. And as you can see, this also is a key level. All right, so that's something that could also happen. And if you look here, you could see that there is a fair value gap right here. You could see this fair value gap, this weekly fair value gap right here. Okay, so that makes sense for price to want to get back down to 4,500 level, and from there we start seeing rejection. So it's possible that this drop would actually continue down to 4,500. So you could actually look to sell, right? But if you want to sell, you'd have to wait for clear opportunities, clear signs, right? So price could actually even go up and then drop. All right, it might not just drop like that. It might go up, push up a little, and then drop. So let me turn these lines back up, so please don't get carried away by all this. Let me see if I could hide some. We'll go back when we get to a lower time frame. We'll turn them back on for you guys. Okay, so sorry. So guys, like I was saying, so gold could actually come down, but like before you want to get for a sell, you probably would want to wait for price to uh go up a little before you start selling into the 50% level of this week. Yeah, so you can wait for price to get into 5139 level, then you could actually start selling from that level. Let me just mark that so when I will see what that is like on the lower time frame. Now let's get to the daily. All right, so looking at the daily now, seeing, yes, so this level is a key level also, so price could actually get into that zone, and from there we could actually start looking for sales, right, down into the 4,500 level that I spoke about. Or you could actually, it could actually get down to 4,300. So from here we could start looking for buying opportunities. All right. All right, guys. So, like we said, this is the 50% fib of that we're expecting the price could push up to, and then you could start selling from there down. And please don't mind these lines because I don't want to delete them. I just want to see how price respects. As you can see, price came down into the zone that I marked out here and began to reject. But I'm expecting that price would actually come down lower. Let me delete this so you see things clearer. It can come down lower, like I said, into 4,500, right? And if you see 4,500 is around this level, right? So there's a tendency for price to come down, and once we start seeing rejections above this trend line, then that's also very key. This is a support level right here. So we'll be expecting, like I said, we'll be expecting for price to come down into this zone, and from these entire zones we're going to be looking for buying opportunities from this entire zone. All right, so Oh, I don't like how there are too many lines here. So price could actually push up into this zone and could even go higher into this zone here. If you go to a lower time frame, you understand why I'm saying that. And then from there we could see a drop, right? If price drops into this level, then we could start looking for buying opportunities from somewhere around there once we get our confirmations and everything, and then we continue upwards. All right, so this is what I'm saying, something of this nature. Like I said, it's from this entire zone. All right, so it could start from here, it could be here, and it could be here. So this entire zone from around 500 4547, right, down to around 4383 level, 4383 level, 4547 and 4383 level. We should be looking for buying opportunities from around that entire zone. So let's just see how everything plays out next week, this coming week that we're entering, and hopefully things are gonna go well. So that's it, guys. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's see if we'll see anything there. Good. So it's still same thing, same thing. So we just wait, we just wait. So like I said, there's a possibility for price to push up and then it will drop. But in at the end of everything, we're still sticking to buying opportunities right now. But before I'll be certain that this major selling sell-off has started, I'll have to wait for price to actually push higher back into close to these all-time highs, right? So by the time price gets into these all-time highs, finally gets there, at some point it's going to get there, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you, at some point. And we're probably going to get a bias into that point again, because price is most likely going to go back up into that zone. When price finally gets back into these all-time highs, we're going to watch and see what price does. If price starts to give us rejections like it wants to drop, then it's possible that that major sell-off is going to begin, right? But if it doesn't and it breaks it and continues upward, then we're going to see price going all the way to 6,000 and probably even break it. All right, so that's just what I think. So let's see how everything plays out, guys. That's just all I have to say for now. So do hope you have a wonderful trading. Peace out, guys, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I try to make this as simple as possible